What's going through your mind right
now? About to do a press conference. Yeah. Right. I guess right now it's a fair bit of relief and excitement about the week ahead, and was just saying to Steve before, it's all about staying in the moment and not getting too carried away with what may be in 6 or 7 days' time.
Is there a fine line between embracing the opportunity you've been given and staying focused?
Yeah, well, I think that's exactly what we are trying to do. I mean, clearly it's taken a long time for the club to get to this point, so the guys will soak up the week, enjoy it, and we won't shy away from some of the distractions that are inevitable with a week like this, but clearly the important part is to stay focused and not to change our physical and mental preparation, which has got us to this point.
Matthew, foreign territories for you guys, well, apart from 2 players, I think, that might have played in grand finals before, who do you lean on to give you advice for the week?
Yeah, those guys. Brett Kirk's been there as a captain. Peter Sumich is a player and an assistant coach. Ross is an assistant coach and a coach as well, senior coach. So we've got enough people there to talk about the external distractions of what the week looks like and how to handle that, some of the pitfalls. So we believe we're relatively well placed in that sense. So it doesn't guarantee us getting to the game and being perfect, but it gives us the best chance.
Pav, congratulations. I remember a press conference about a year or two ago, when things weren't going that well, you said you believed one day this day would arrive. Do you recall those comments?
I don't know, but I've always like to think I'm glass half full and optimistic. I mean, you have to be a realist in this game and understand the challenges that it presents, but I've always felt that this group of players, particularly the guys that were drafted alongside Steve, and the hard work and the maturity and the growth that we've put into those players and the time, that it would come. Albeit that we knew there was a huge amount of hard work to get to that point.
Did you bounce out of bed this morning just excited?
No, I was pretty sore. Although my daughter woke me up, so I bounced out to go and grab her more than realising that I was actually a bit sore. But yeah, I mean, clearly the guys are buoyant and happy to be in this morning, and it's not a bad place to be recovery-wise on a Sunday preparing for a grand final.
I think it's your 14th year now. Was there any doubt over the 14 years you think you wouldn't make to the grand final?
Look, it's really hard to... I got asked that question last night. It's hard to actually remember and think back to moments in your career, to be honest. But clearly, the club's been through a lot of hard times, and I've been a part of that. A lot of exciting times as well. But there are times throughout your career where you think that you may not get opportunities that you really desire. And that's why this week handling it the right way and preparing in the manner that we need to is really important.
How satisfying is it that you stuck true with the club over the long journey and now you're finally here?
Yeah, people asked me that question last night about vindication, and I think once you make a decision in your life, regardless if it's for your career or your personal life, whatever it is, you make the decision and you move on. You just don't have any regret. So I'm not. Yeah, yes, it's nice to be in this position, but satisfaction or vindication, those sort of words, I don't think are associated with my decisions in the past.
And how's the body? You've had an interrupted season with injury. You okay?
Yeah, sore obviously from a hard game last night, but really happy overall how I've pulled up the last few weeks and feel as though I'm getting some continuity in my game and game time. So pleased to be at this point of the year, fighting fit.
That last half of the quarter last night was obviously pretty frenetic with trying to manage the boys through, and you're all coming on and off. How was balancing that with the absolute unbelievable noise that was going on around?
The last quarter?
A few minutes, because the noise last night was...
Yeah, the crowd was phenomenal. Our members and fans have been battling it out with us for a long time, and we feel that as players. So to hear and see them last night was tremendous and really gave us an extra leg, and we're really hoping that we get as much purple at the MCG this Saturday. But clearly that management... we did take the foot off the pedal, unfortunately, and we'll have to look at some of that in the second half. It wasn't perfect, wasn't ideal, and there might have been a bit of human nature in that, knowing that we were sort of 6, 7, 8 goals up with not much to go, which we spoke about at half time. We committed to each other that we needed to stay in the moment and not look too far ahead, but clearly human nature sometimes plays bigger parts.
Speaking of soreness, you're confident that most of your teammates have caught up okay?
Yep, yeah, really confident everyone's in this morning, moving well, and I don't see any issues whatsoever with anyone leading into this week.
Matthew, how do you keep on the hype this week? The past 2 weeks have been huge in WA, all Purple Army and the Purple Sausages and stuff. This week's going to be even bigger.
Purple Sausages?
There's Purple Sausages going around the butchers. How
Right.
do you keep a little on the hype this week?
Oh, well, I think the last 2 weeks gives us a fair bit of confidence that we can handle distractions externally. I think internally the major focus has been on the job at hand, our preparation. That won't change. But clearly a lot of noise is going to be around the place. We just have to stay in the bubble that Ross terms it, and all the noise that's around us we'll hear, and it's inevitable that that's going to be the case, but we just need to stay focused.
What did you say to the boys after the match last night?
Oh, look, really proud of the efforts. It's an opportunity that we've given ourselves, but clearly that's all it is. We're not there to make up the numbers. We're there to go and compete fiercely, and we won't be intimidated. We won't take a backward step. The guys are really driven and hungry for this opportunity, regardless if it's your 14th year or your first year. That's a great trait of this group of players. So we're looking forward to the challenge.
What about Hawthorn? How do you break them down?
Great team, been the standout performer for the best part of 2 years. Fantastic players at every area of the ground. So, we haven't played them for a while. We're going to have to go back and look at some footage, and obviously had a good look at them on Friday night. And when they were challenged, just responded so fantastically in that last quarter. Some of their great players stood up, and we understand it's going to take absolutely everything to beat this team. But if we bring our effort and intensity for long enough, we believe we can get the job done.
Matthew, the pressure you had last night,
Yep.
particularly in the second quarter, was that the best that the team's probably executed that through the season?
Certainly at stages, yeah, it was pretty powerful, wasn't it, in that second quarter? I probably think of a couple other games where it felt that way out there, but certainly the way we locked the ball in our forward half made it really hard for Sydney to exit their defensive area, and we just kept repeat entries up inside our forward 50. It's really powerful.
You've achieved a lot on the individual front, but can you just compare the satisfaction that you're getting from the team success?
Yeah, we play a team sport. If I wanted individual awards and highlights, you'd play an individual sport like golf or tennis or something like that. Clearly, I've got no ability in those two things, and that's why I chose a team sport. So, that's all that matters in this game. And as much as people make it out for other highlights and other reasons, all you crave is team success, and that's why I'm really proud to be a part of this group.
How well equipped in the back half are you to deal with Hawthorn's goal kicking power?
In
How
the
well equipped in the back half you two are?
Well, look, I think, Lee McFarlane, All-Australian, one time, probably should have been a couple of times. Michael Johnson this year. Zach Dawson has had a terrific year for us. Our backline group is really solid. And it's not only that back six, it's the entire defensive pressure that we put on oppositions. We'll be asking questions of Hawthorn with our defensive pressure all over the ground, which hopefully they haven't seen this year. Clearly we need to bring that to life, but as I said before, it's really powerful when the whole team's doing it.
That's not as obviously a physical thing. It's going to be the same, as we were talking about before, that you prepare for each week. What's your advice going to be? Have you been to one before? Have you been to have a look?
Yeah, I've been to a number of them, and I think what we say to our players is that nerves are normal, anxiety is normal, and thinking ahead about the bigger picture is all normal. We're human beings. We make mistakes. We think about the bigger picture sort of items. So that's all great and fine, but we need to use them as triggers to what's important, and those triggers are our mental and physical preparation. The physical preparation won't change. It'll be a normal week for us, but the mental preparation, all the distractions externally are going to be heightened. So it's important to focus on what matters, and that's spending a bit of time away from the club on just visualising and making sure that we're prepared as best we can.
But that is physically different though. It's not going to be a normal week. You're not in a grand final parade every week.
No, that's true. And that's where we draw on the experience of Kirky and Summer and Ross and Daniel, Zach, just to talk about how that looks. And, as I said before, we're going to enjoy it. We're going to embrace that because it's the first time the club's been there. So we're going to soak it up. understand that yes, there's a level of distraction to it, but it's normal. It's a grand final. That's what happens in these games. So there's no point in ignoring it or shying away from it. But that shouldn't affect all the other preparation that we always do in a game prior to a game.
And the other week you mentioned that Ross Lyon's been the best coach you've ever played under. What makes him so special and what allows him to bring
Well, I think you guys probably see an element of it each week in the way we play as a team. We work for each other. He clearly has some really strong strategies. He understands the modern game really well, but is able to motivate and guide us along the way extremely well also. So, we'll draw on his experience this week because he's been there before.
The way Ross speaks,
Last
the way Ross speaks to the media post-match, does that give you more confidence? He's very forthright.
Speaks to the media?
He's very forthright in saying we can beat Hawthorn. Our pressure last week was good enough to beat Geelong. Seems to be coming out very honest and saying,
Well, I think it depends on how much the guys listen to the media or read papers, and my understanding is that that's relatively limited. So what gives us confidence is our actions out there on the field and Ross's words internally. So it's hard to know how the guys react to the external noise.
What about the past players, Paul Hainsby, Peter Bell, very excited for the club? Is it any more motivation for yourselves?
No, not really. Our past is our past, and we draw on that in hard times and in good. But we're all about this current group and what we can experience together. And as I said, I'm really proud to be leading the group that we have here. I've got some great friendships and have some great memories of playing with some of those past players, and I love them dearly. But this is about this group of players achieving something special.